Welcome back. Previously, in part one of examining Star Trek The Next Generation's The Masterpiece Society,
I wouldn't want to live my life knowing that my future was written. My boundaries had been already set. Would you?
all right, everybody, you've been warned. We're about to go where no other Star Trek analysis video has gone before. As I rewatched The Masterpiece Society from Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 13, I'm actually blown away that this aired on mainstream television. This is the most subtle, most devastating pro-life argument I've ever seen slipped into a sci-fi show, and nobody talks about it. To refresh part one, Moab 4 is a planet that has a hermetically sealed colony, and within that colony are genetically engineered humans. No flaws, no defects, everything planned from before birth, before conception. Hannah Bates, she's one of the scientists from the society working with Geordi La Forge in engineering on board the Enterprise. It is her comments and questions which her character inadvertently, but most likely was the writer's full intention, delivers the most pro-life message ever uttered in Star Trek. Hold on a second. What about Friday's Child? That one was pro-life. Yes, Friday's Child is pro-life, but it predates the mid-70s and the Roe versus Wade. And this 1992 episode is at the height of the social controversy.
Were you always blind?
I was born blind. I've always been this way.
All right, I love a good build-up. That's not the truth bomb. That's called the setup. Geordi La Forge is based upon real-life George La Forge, a quadriplegic, devoted Star Trek fan. He attended multiple conventions, became friends with people that were connected to Star Trek, whether it was the cast, whether it was production crew, and as appreciation, Mr. La Forge was immortalized in the character of Geordi La Forge.
So, guess if I had been conceived on your world, I wouldn't even be here now, would I?
No.
No, I'd have been terminated as a fertilized cell.
BAM! For how many years have you seen this episode in reruns or when it first premiered? And this exchange slipped by. So the first part was the setup. This is the crack of the bat hitting the ball. This next scene is the home run, ball knocked out of the park.
It was the wish of our founders that no one have to suffer a life with disabilities.
Who gave them the right to decide whether or not I should be here? Whether or not I might have something to contribute?
I don't know what to say.
That is a mic drop moment. Who gave them the right to decide whether or not I should be here? Whether or not I'd have something to contribute? Mic drop. I want to pause here for a moment. This is where it gets personal for me. And this goes back to George La Forge. My oldest child became quadriplegic as a young adult, getting out of the house for doctor's appointments, therapy, attending things such as concerts, family functions, even going to a restaurant took hours of pre-planning. Eventually, acquired a van with a lift, but prior to that, I had to use a Hoyer lift to move my child from the power chair into the vehicle, take the power chair, put it on a ramp on the back of the vehicle. If the weather was bad, cover it up. Use tension straps to make certain it stayed in place. Man, those first few times, I was paranoid that it would fall off, because of being... it's heavy at the bottom because of the motor and the batteries, but every railroad crossing, every pothole. So, going back to George La Forge, the real George La Forge, the man this character is named after, he was quadriplegic, and he still found ways to go to Star Trek conventions, to write letters, to stay active in the fandom before he died in 1975. That hits different. That's not casual fandom. I remember taking my child to the one of the comic book conventions in September. Uh, September was the time frame that it was hosted in Portland, and just the logistics of getting a hotel room in Portland that could accommodate the power chair, a Hoyer lift, and then securing transportation to get back and forth because of parking issues. So this guy in the mid 70s and before, he's moving mountains. He's demonstrating a devotion on a level not many can understand. He loved this show so much that he put himself at risk to go through a world that wasn't built for him, just to be part of it. Roddenberry and team saw that love, that unbreakable spirit, and said, we're naming one of our heroes after him. Every time Geordi La Forge is on screen, every time he saves the ship, whether it's with the visor or with his abilities, Moab 4 and its culture would have aborted him. Remember, there was a real George La Forge out there who never got to see his legacy immortalized. But his life, how he lived it, made it possible. That's why this episode cuts deep.